I was. You know, thing about with muscle cars, you know, people tease you about they don't have a clutch down there. It's not a real muscle car, but you know, these cars, these ZL1s, I mean, they're fun, and automatic is it makes driving automatic much more fun. And you know, you got your shifters as well, but you know, I wouldn't have an automatic in something with less power. You know, so driving something with a lot of power.
Yeah.
Automatic still works. And plus, at the end of the day, people may argue with that, but automatic's faster than. You know,
no, it is definitely,
manual.
Especially for the application you're having.
You know, the transmission they put in these things is pretty solid, pretty strong. Anyhow, you know, so you know, unless you're going to get into some real drag racing, you know, I don't see a big need to change out the transmission. And you know, for me to think about, I'm a little older, a little seasoned now, so I don't, you know, hot dogging and you know, in and out of traffic, dodging. You know, I don't really do that. You know, and I'm of the motto: you only use it when you need it. Don't just.
Sure, and that's much appreciated, actually.
Yeah, you know, so unless you're going to the track, or some, you know, some back roads, you know. Matter of fact, what's funny, I'm teased a lot. A lot of people say I drive slow, and you know, I probably do. I kind of cruise in this, and I play around with it when I need to. You know, this is the type of car you don't need to hot dog and show off. It kind of speaks for itself, I think.
Yeah.
I enjoy it. You know, automatic, not going through the gears, man. It's I don't use my paddle shifters a lot, but you know, I do play around with it from time to time. You know,
so you only mainly use them for when you drag race?
You know, I actually know. It's actually, believe it or not, it's probably a little more tougher to use the paddle shifters while you drag racing.
Really?
If you kind of roll racing or just kind of out on the street playing around, because the changing of the transmission, the car, the gears, it's going to be faster than you, and it's a little delayed. Automatic does its thing, and it knows when to change.
Right.
They're designed and set up that way. So, you know, if you want to play around and do a little burnout, and you know, rev it up a little higher, then you can do the paddle shift again. But other than that, definitely, in my opinion, you know, drag racing, you know, you don't want to use the paddle shift.
Interesting. Okay.
It knows when to change at the right time, you know, to give you the right maximum amount of torque and horsepower.
Nice. Yeah, I'm asking because I'm pretty sure this is a traditional torque converter automatic, and as far as I drove, like, you know, the Challengers and Chargers, they drive on ZF transmission, 8 or 7 speed or something like that. And although those are torque converter, they're really crisp and kind of nice in terms of shifting. And it's both, either with like manual or with pedals, or when it does it by itself.
Right.
So that's what I was like. And when I had the Camaro SS, I was actually pretty surprised on how good are the upshifts, you know, for kind of manual mode.
Right.
And I was using manual mode because you want to hold it into the gear when you go into the corner in the mountains. And it's the same 10 speed for the Camaros, and it's 10 speed in Mustangs. But the Mustangs is kind of shifting back and forth a lot. I was like, it's fine, but it's switching a lot of gears. It wants to use all 10 gears. Right. Meanwhile, the Camaros, you can put it in sport mode. It'll stay only with the first 6 gears, you know, to give you that maximum torque. Yeah.
You see, and I haven't driven the 610 with the 10 speed. You know, this is 2013, so 15, so it's 6 speed.
6 speed.
You know, but again, at the end of the day, really, you know, unless you're on a highway somewhere going fairly high speed, where you going to use all those extra gears you got there? You know, it's nice to have, but you know,
and it's mainly for fuel consumption, because you know, with the higher gears and a high speed, you can stay even like 70, 80 miles an hour and still be at low RPMs.
Low RPM, right. Definitely helps with that. You know, for what little bit of gas you may save, right? You know, touring. I drive most of the time in my my touring as opposed to sport mode.
Oh, okay.
You know, and then you have the different sport tracks you got from wet to dry,
Right.
to sport mode, touring mode, race mode. Just it depends really what you're gonna use it for that day. But, I don't really daily drive this, so 2 days a week I pretty much go back and forth from sport and tour mode, which is really just the suspension kind of setup.
Right.
Mine's just been lowered with BMR springs, so it sits just about an inch and a half lower than the factory.
Okay.
So the front end I have to be pretty careful a lot and parking in a lot of places because with the extra spoiler front end APR on the front, that makes it even probably about a quarter of an inch even lower. So I definitely, luckily I hadn't damaged it yet, but there's been a few times been a little light ding up, but not too bad.
I will say, like, so far as I can feel, like suspension is not all that harsh.
Well, I have it in touring right now as well too.
Oh, so wait, is it a Magnaride suspension?
Yeah.
Okay.
Magnaride suspension. So I mean, it corners real well, holds tight. It's a little bumpy, roughy, but I mean, a lot of that's just extra. It's just really from the low profile tires and the rims that I have. I don't have the all-weather seasonal tires on it, so that gives it a little more, bumpy, rough ride or whatever. But in the back, I'm right now running drag radials, but street Nittos, so that.
So they're kind of legal on the street and.
Yeah, they're legal. The Nittos, drag radials, I run those on the back, and then some Nittos in the front as well too. But whenever I go to the track, I switch to the slicks and with the skinnies in the front.
Okay.
So I run Mickey Thompson's. I actually, in tracking it, I haven't actually really tracked it with the Nittos drag radius. I've only done it with the Mickey's on. Nittos, they stick in the hole pretty good too, though. Just probably in some cases, like I've had the Mickey Thompson's on the street, and not being prepped on the street, they're pretty much terrible. The drag radials or the slicks rather, the Mickey Thompson, it needs to be on a prep surface.
Right.
Heat it up for it to really work.
These are good for the street. Do they require a lot of time to warm up? Or?
It does. And you still gotta, if you're gonna play around with it some, you do need to heat these up as well too. They're okay in the rain. Well, I don't really try not to drive it a whole lot.
Oh, that's a left here.
When it's wet. Some people just kind of change out the rear and they leave the factory tires on the front. For me, I wanted to have the overall look, of drag racing, so I wanted to go ahead and go and change out with the skinnies in the front as well too. And plus, that helps with a little bit of weight transfer, with the skinnies on the front as opposed to the factory wheels and the tires in the front.
Okay.
The skinnies, I think on the Mickey's in the front, I'm running I think the 28.6, and then for the drag radials, 17-inch 305s. And then recently, with this being a 13, they didn't come with the line lock. I think with the 16, the newer version cars, they have a line lock. So I just recently installed my line lock, red button. I don't know if you can't see that, but I've yet to have the opportunity to use it yet, though. So I'm looking forward to that. If all goes well and the weather is fine, I'm looking to get to the track next Sunday.
How were you warming up the tires until now? Were you like just doing burnouts?
Yeah, burnout too, just from the with the foot. Having to hold the brake down. But I found it was I wasn't having real good burnouts that way, and so it wasn't getting heated up real well.
You get parked at this church or something.
Yeah.
What should I? Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
But push foot on the brake. Now. Yeah. It has to go down to get in the gear.
Oh, I didn't know you have the heads-up display. Wow,
Yeah,
that's an
cool.
early version.
That's cool, yeah.
Camaro SS I drove.
Yeah.
It also has the heads-up display, but it's a kind of newer one, the better graphics and stuff.
Yeah.
So I was like surprised. That's an early version.
And I hadn't been in the 6 gens to see what they look like.
Right.
You know, the new version. Yeah. Also, too, normally when I'm tracking and I had it tuned, it was tuned in the manual drive shift.
So now I should keep it in drive?
Yeah, drive is fine. Yeah, drive is fine. Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, you can run it in drive, but I can usually keep it in drive, but yeah, you can use the manual when I'm playing around with it, and obviously when I'm at the track, I have it in manual mode.
Right. Are there any other modes for steering wheel?
No. As far as for the fifth gens, you know, the steering wheel, meaning the steering wheel itself, you're talking about? Or you're talking about
steering wheel stiffness, kind of, you know, it gets heavier or?
Yeah. No, it's I mean, for the curves, it handles well. It's real tight, real stiff.
Right.
You know, those are designed more for the. Those are designed more for the road course. You know.
Okay.
Hitting the curves, handling it tight. You know, the ZL1s, you know, they do just as well, but you know, we like more of the straight line run. But C28s are just as nice, and the 1LEs are definitely what Chevy's version of the built. It's a different type of suspension built for the curves and road course type deal.
Does it have like torque brake vectoring?
Yeah.
Okay, because I felt some steering input. It was kind of pulling me a little bit to left or right.
Yeah.
Actually, okay. So yeah, it does have brake vectoring.
You got it. And so this is a time like this. A lot of times I would use the paddle shifters.
Yeah, to keep it in the right gear.
Yeah, to hold in the right gear, the whole curve right.
But it's not at least in this particular application, the shifts are not that brutal to unsettle the car, right?
Right.
They're still pretty smooth.
You can put it in manual mode and it'll control a little bit better of the transmission end.
So just put it in manual?
Okay. You keep going. It's just going to change a little different for you now. So you can get a hold up better in the curves because the transmission is going to change up.
So I still have to change myself, or it's
it still changes itself. No. You can tell the difference there now with it. Yeah.
Yeah, there is difference.
It's going to hold a little longer in each gear. You know.
Yeah, it becomes loud when you push it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
And you're really just, I mean, you're punching it, but you're not really.
I'm not full throttle.
Yeah.
I'm scared to do that.
I didn't go full throttle, but at one time back there when you was behind me and I hit it for a second, I think it spun a little bit there in front of you.
I was asking about the steering because it feels like there's a little bit of dead spot in the middle, so it's like you see, it's not as sharp, you know, like I think the 6th gen Camaro I had a little bit harder.
Gotcha.
Sharper steering, and it was heavier, but that one had modes for steering wheel.
Yeah, okay, gotcha.
And I would always keep it in comfort because as it gets heavier, it feels very synthetic.
Gotcha.
So you want to keep it in normal so it feels, you know, more.
Yeah, see, those 6 gens I hadn't driven one, but I've heard mixed reviews from different people, you know, liking the 6 gen better than the field, vice versa, kind of depends, your preference.
It turns in really good.
Railroad tracks right here. Yeah, oh yes, it's a nice little bump. I'm glad we caught that. Oh yeah. we might have been airborne there a little bit, maybe. We might have got that front end there. Okay, that's actually before the railroad crossing. It's a nice little hump right there.
You take care of your car, so.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You want to switch to the paddle shifters? It's gonna give you the gear it needs to be in anyhow, right? When you shift back over to.
Yeah, there's certainly some delay when you do it manually.
Right.
After all, not full throttle. I know some transmissions do it faster when you're on it.
Yeah.
That's okay. So yeah, it sets the car
has to do with knowing your car and knowing what the maximum
Sure.
torque, horsepower, and shift points are at.
But it feels very kind of manageable and progressive. Of course, I'm not pushing it right now any close to the limit, but it's. I had the chance to drive, the Roush Mustangs.
Yeah.
That one had 710 horses or something like that.
Yeah.
That one felt really isolated.
Shift in the first, yeah. You see it still in the second. There you go. You see, yeah.
So now.
Yeah, you're in first. You're good now.
Yeah, but it'll continue to do in manual.
No, yeah, you got to shift it. In second, you got to shift it in second.
Okay.
There you go. When I say right to do the paddle shifters, normally you're going to be in the the manual mode.
Mm-hmm.
Typically, you don't really do the paddle shifters in the D, the drive mode. You see that right there? That would have been the time you really didn't need to go back to first.
Yeah.
Because again, knowing your RPMs and where to go back to, etc. You're about to pass one of my my old shops I used to deal with to get some of my rims and stuff from
Okay.
for other cars that I had. Used to work with this guy right here. The good thing I like about it too is it's not gonna let you downshift if it's not the right time to downshift. It's gonna deny it.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Same with the upshift as well too, but mainly the downshift when you're going down. It's gonna stop it. You from in case the RPMs are too high or whatever, and you're trying to downshift, it's not that time based on the transmission setup. It's gonna deny your shift or whatever.
Yeah, because I mean, the beauty of it is that it has to keep the transmission safe from not from you blowing it up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.